So, Cynthia, there's been a lot of major changes in your life in a few short years. So, from getting married to Mr. Mike Hill to stepping away from Real Housewives.
I grew up very close to my grandmother who worked. She had 155 jobs. She was the first example of a true entrepreneur that I knew.
So, Miss Cynthia Bailey, you not only have your original Bellini drink that you co-created with Seagrams Escape, and we talked about your collaboration earlier, but just for Mother's Day, you and the company partnered together again to make your two signature cocktails. But let's talk about the Mimosa because you're going to do a little demo and I'm going to follow along. So
Yes.
hit it, girl.
All right, so here we go. This is my delicious Mimosa that I'm going to be making for you guys today, just in time for Mother's Day, which is one of my favorite days because I am a mom and it is one of my favorite jobs to be. So super, super easy. These are some of our amazing Seagrams Escape flavors. You can make it with any flavor you want, with any kind of sparkling wine. I just have some blueberries in my glass already, ready to go. You can put strawberries, you could put peaches, you could put whatever fruit you want to put in there for a garnish. All right. And then I just have a little Prosecco. I'm going to pour.
Prosecco measured out?
Yep. Like really about 2/3. I really put like, to taste. Like if you want a little bit more wine and a little less of the Seagrams, you do that. And if you want more Seagrams and a little less wine, then you do that. Okay, I'm going to pour a little of this is my delicious. I decided to go with strawberry daiquiri today. I love a good strawberry daiquiri. I haven't had one for a while. Cheers. Yes. So I'm going to put a little bit more in here. And then I'm going to put a little bit more Prosecco. It's almost time for the weekend, right? All right. All right. So here we go. This is my delicious Mimosa for all of the amazing moms out there that should have a day every day, honestly, like seriously. So this is to you. Thank you. We love you. We appreciate you. And again, super easy to make. Seagrams Escapes. I just used my strawberry daiquiri flavor, which you can use any flavor of your choice. We have so many delicious flavors. And of course, my favorite is the peach Bellini because that's the one that I created.
Hello.
And any kind of sparkling wine. So cheers to us.
Cheers.
For all the moms out there, just keeping it going and making it happen.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. Oh, that's good. Delicious, right?
Good. Yeah. I chose raspberry, so that's going to be the ticket at the end.
Oh yeah, it's nice. It's nice. Oh, and you know what you can do too, Erica, if you want to. This is there's so many fun recipes. If you guys go on to SeagramsEscapes.com, you guys will see all the amazing recipes, but you can also freeze this and let it get a little slushy-ish, and then do the exact same thing with the sparkling white wine and fruit of your choice, and then it could be a little more icy.
So. Oh, I like that. I like that. And it's getting warm. So yeah, you can all use a slushy drink.
Yes.
Welcome to Come Back with Erica Cobb, a community of folks like yourselves who are getting ready and staying ready for their next chapter. And no one knows how to make a chapter look more fabulous than my next guest. We all know her as a supermodel, former cast member of Bravo's Real Housewives of Atlanta, and founder of Be Better Foundation, amongst other accolades. Or maybe you visited the Bailey Wine Cellar or the Bailey Room event space. After all, she is everywhere, including here through her partnership with Seagrams Escape as the co-creator of the delicious Seagrams Peach Bellini. Cynthia Bailey, it is my honor to welcome you to Come Back with Erica Cobb.
Oh, thank you, Erica. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so happy to have you, girl. Now, we actually offline, for those of you, because we are a podcast. We like to keep it real on Ebony Podcast Network, right? So Cynthia and I have made ourselves a little Mimosa in honor of Mother's Day. So we're going to be sipping on that as we talk to you today.
Here's all the amazing moms out there. Continue to do what you do. Every day should be Mother's Day. So
I agree. Shout out to Dr. Nell Cobb, because without you, I am nothing. Yes, absolutely. So Cynthia, there's been a lot of major changes in your life in a few short years. So from getting married to Mr. Mike Hill to stepping away from Real Housewives of Atlanta after 11 seasons, So how have you been adjusting to embracing this quote new season in your life?
Wow. It's honestly been a whirlwind. Like I literally put it into place, wrapped my mind around it because leaving Housewives was a huge deal for me. I've been a consistent housewife for 11 years. And, you know, I just struggled the last couple of years like, okay, this has been amazing. I've been able to do so much with the platform. However, there's so many other things that I want to do as well, like the acting that I've started to do and the hosting and creating TV and producing. So, with that said, I didn't know what this next chapter was going to be like. I just knew that it was time. It felt like time to just take that leap of faith and just put myself out there. And I have to say, as a woman of a certain age in this industry, it was a little scary. It was definitely a little scary. I think you know, sometimes we don't realize the power that we have. We don't realize like all the work that we've done really has paved the way for, that next chapter or, your transition that you're making. And I am honestly amazed. I cannot tell you how incredible it has been so far. I literally have not come up for air.
Mm. That is that's so beautiful in so many ways because to be honest, like obviously you are looked at as an icon, you're looked at as, goals and now couples goals. And to hear you be so transparent as we're honestly as a viewer used to seeing you be, that you would be scared about the next chapter. I would hope that at least I'm internalizing that and letting that sit with me to know that we're all human
Oh,
and we all have to experience these ebbs and flows of life. And to hear your testimony about what's happened in this very short period of time, I know is going to be cathartic to so many people. So I really appreciate you sharing that.
oh, you're so welcome. It's so important, for quote unquote celebrities to be honest with um with our lives in certain ways because people look at us on social media and they think, we have it all together and everything is just, things just fall out of the ceiling for us and we just have this amazing life all the time. And what people need to realize is we're always a work in progress. Like even when I have a job, I'm always thinking about the next job. I'm always thinking about starting another business. I'm always focused on work. Work takes up a big part of my life. And when you jump from a platform like the Real Housewives into the almost the unknown in some way, it is a little scary. Like, I was like, oh my God, like, like so much of my identity became housewives.
Mm,
Although, I had a whole life before housewives,
right.
but I will say, Housewives made me famous. I was known in the fashion industry, but be very clear, I am a household name now. I'm able to leverage my platform and my brand to do all these other amazing things. And I would encourage anyone out there, regardless of what they're doing, where they are in their life, when you feel like your purpose is being pulled somewhere else,
Mm.
believe in yourself and believe in God and go for it, especially if you've already planted the seeds and laid down the foundation to be able to move into the next chapter.
Yeah, we are seed planters,
Mhm.
if nothing else, especially as Black women. And, the genesis of this podcast was that I went through divorce, bankruptcy, unemployment, like all
Ooh.
together.
Oh, hold
Yeah.
on. Let me get a drink,
I
honey.
know. I'm
Oh,
going to have a little sip to that too.
God bless you. And look at you over there, just still standing and sitting very pretty right now.
Well, I appreciate that.
Dressed.
I really appreciate it. But I like to give my audience some key takeaways from our testimony teachers,
Mhm.
just because sometimes we hear the story, but we continue to see the glory.
Right.
And I like to just take a pause down and say, you said so many things, but one of the things was, regardless of where you were in your career, you continue to work. And there's been some talk about the idea of us, especially as a community, especially as Black women,
Mhm.
overworking is a part of trauma.
Right.
And it's a response to that. And I think that if it's done in an effective,
Mhm.
decisive way, we can figure out how to just plant the seeds. So when it's time for germination, we have
Mhm.
a little bit more time to spend to hone this new growth. So your
Yes.
explanation of it was really so beautifully aligned with the message that I really hope that people are picking up listening to this today.
Well, thank you so much. And I agree with you 100%. I really honestly do.
Yeah, love it. Love it. So I want to know your key takeaway. And I know there's so many takeaways from your time on Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Okay, my key takeaways. I will say there's a couple of moments that were like proud moments for me, or at least um, things that I'm really glad that I shared. Like, I think one of the reasons why I was so successful on the show for so many years is because I have always been very transparent. Sometimes I look back and I'm like, maybe I was a little too transparent. I mean, you got the highs, the lows, the peaks, the valleys, the ups, downs, the marriages, the divorce, dating, like everything that I honestly went through. So I would say one of my proudest moments would probably be my my daughter coming out as fluid,
Mhm.
and and having her share that journey on the show, because so many of our kids now, they're not like us. I'm a little older. I don't know how old you are, but we had to pick a box.
Close.
We're
I'm close.
straight, we're gay, what are we? So it's a different world, and love is love. And these kids do not put themselves in a box. They can be whatever they want. They can love whoever they want to love. And when we had that discussion privately, I just felt like, what? I think that there's so much power in Noelle telling her own story, because, we live in a world of cell phones and, people like, I didn't want her to not share it, because I feel like as a reality star, by us not sharing it, our fans sometimes look at it like, oh, well, they, were trying to hide that from us, or that was like some kind of secret that we had. So I'm really glad that she made the decision to share it on Housewives. And I can't tell you how many moms called me like, oh my God, I watched that episode. My daughter's fluid, my son's fluid. We've been kind of struggling with how to deal with it, and the way you dealt with it with Noelle gave us so much encouragement. Thank you for sharing that with us. And at the time, I don't think about everybody else's kid. I was just thinking, okay, this is my kid, and I want to let her know that I support her. And with that, I don't want her to feel like she can't be free to be whoever she wants to be. And so much of just putting it out there herself, and creating her own narrative of how she wants to put it out there, was powerful. So I was really happy that we were able to do that and encourage so many other families and kids who were struggling with, or just trying to figure out, what their sexuality is, that we were able to, show them like, hey, this is where we're, this is what we're doing, and this is who we are, and this is how we are navigating, and it's all coming from a place of love. The other thing I'm really glad that I talked about, excuse me, is my fibroids. So many Black women struggle with fibroids, and a lot of women in general, but it really affects a lot of African American women. And at the time, The Real Housewives of Atlanta is a drama-based show. My producers gave me a little bit of pushback. Like, well, we don't know if that's going to be interesting, if the fans care about that. Meanwhile, like literally 90% of the cast had fibroids. They just chose not to really talk about it publicly. I chose to talk about it because it really was affecting me. It was affecting my life. It was affecting my marriage. It was affecting my health. And I wanted to talk about it when no other celebrities were really talking about it. It wasn't cool to talk about fibroids. It wasn't sexy to talk about fibroids. And you have to remember, again, as a woman of a certain age, my health as you get older, as I've gotten older, has become more and more a priority for me in my life. And I don't want to be like great on Instagram and I'm over here like struggling with fibroids off camera. Like, I'm like, hey, this is what it is. This is what I'm dealing with. This is part of my reality. And there's so much knowledge and education that we need to know about fibroids, because I can't even tell you, like, I'm literally called the fibroid lady now when I see my fans, because they're like, oh my God, I got, my fibroids taken care of when I saw that episode. Like, even like, women were dealing with fibroids and they didn't even feel comfortable talking to their husbands about it. And now they're like, oh no, my husband supported me. I saw how Peter supported you. And, it was really, really a teachable moment. And also something that I felt like was important for our community, the Black community, because it does affect so many of us. So that was another moment. And then of course my wedding to Mike.
Yes.
Oh,
We know everyone remembers 10, 10, 20 though.
girl. Okay. That was my happy ending. And when unfortunately things didn't work out with my ex Peter, and we decided to go our separate ways. I didn't, I was already older. I didn't know what the dating world was going to be like. I didn't really see myself honestly getting married again. So for 10, 10, 20 for hashtag chill to actually come together and happen was really by the grace of God and a little bit of help from Steve Harvey, because he was the one that put us together. So,
Hey.
so those are my 3 top moments. And there's so many more. And honestly, I was on the show for so long, I actually have forgotten a lot of the stuff, but those are the 3 that come to mind.
First of all, the first about fibroids, I had never heard of fibroids until you started talking about it on the show. And I was checked for fibroids because now I'm 41 and
Look amazing, by the way, queen.
Oh, I'm just trying to follow the bar that you set. Okay.
Well, you're doing a good job, honey.
Thank you. Thank you. But, I was trying to figure out like why I wasn't able to have children. And that was, of course, the first thing everyone checked. Like, I was like, let me figure out if I have fibroids. And then it turned out that I didn't. But then that's when we started delving into all the other, it opened the conversation. And I think so much of what you've done by being so transparent with your life is start the conversation. Even with Noelle, like I was really taken by her comfort level. And I don't know if that was truly her comfort level at that time, but the way that it came across, I remember being her age, and it was and it still is very much a big deal in a lot of places for a lot of people to come out as anything other than straight.
Right.
But the way that she did it, I thought was so effectively communicated as well, because it felt very natural and normal. And when I was her age, it wasn't the natural, normal thing to say. And there was so much more shame, even more than, the confusion that some people still have today. So I really appreciated that moment. And then as a woman who's gotten remarried, yes, 10, 10, 20 meant a whole lot, because also when you mentioned that, you're a woman of a certain age and you weren't sure if you'd find a love again, the conversation that was really playing out in a lot of the world is all of these women who are, quote, women of a certain age who stay in toxic relationships because they truly believe that there isn't going to be a happily ever after for them. So to see it play out in your life in the way that it did was just, a gift in itself.
Well, thank you so much. I really want to be an inspiration to older women. Like, those are the women that I really try to talk to, like anyone that's like 40s and up. I have a lot of younger followers, but I'm not really focused on them. Love you guys. Thank you so much for following me. But I'm really more concerned about like my age range and my people that are like, going through the same journeys that I'm going through. Like, I feel like, 20s, 30s, you guys are good. You guys don't have the same issues that I have right now, but thank you for following me anyway.
Yeah.
And making sure you guys are, starting the things early that I'm, that I talk about, and making sure that you guys are already on point. But yeah, those are the women that I want to inspire. I ran toward 50. Like, I've always been, someone to embrace my age. And, I'm just not one of these women who's like, oh, I don't want to talk about my age. Like, I am 55 years old. I turned 55 years old this year, actually, in the celebrity Big Brother house. And I think what's so beautiful about just being comfortable with who you are and owning every part of you. Like, 55 is like, you can talk about like 55 is not old to me. 55 is a blessing. You know how many people don't live to see 55? The world that we live in, the different things that are happening in the world, to actually be able to get old is a blessing. You know what I'm saying? So I scream it from the mountaintops. This is where I am. I represent and I go hard for, for the old folks out here that's still trying to make it happen.
Not the old folks. No, I'm not even receiving
The fabulous old people that's still out here trying to make it happen. But it's so funny because even when I turned 50, my whole 50 Cent moment, like my little, that other side that, you piss me off, 50 Cent comes out, because I feel like as you get a certain age, you can be unapologetically who you are.
Yes.
So if you come for me and it's like, listen, no, I don't owe you anything. I don't have to apologize for anything that I don't feel like I need to. And I'm going to take ownership of whatever it is that I've done. And my intentions are always good, but I'm on some real grown woman shit right now. Okay. Don't mess with me. When I turned 50, my whole world changed. Mm-hmm. And I love it. And that's, I think it's beautiful to take ownership of this time in my life, and make it still fun and sexy and productive, and to see me navigate like waters that like typically younger women start. I'm like, hey, I'm here, I'm 55 and I'm starting my acting career. What's up? What's good? Yeah. I want to create a show. I want to do this. I want to do that. So this is where I am, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Well, it looks beautiful on you. And it's quite the inspiration. And you talked about women who are closer to your age, and a lot of them are moms. So, a part of your reason for being here is, yes, it is Mother's Day, and every day, as you say, should be Mother's Day. And I agree, but you are doing something really special with Seagrams. So how did this collaboration come about?
Okay. Seagrams reached out to me a few years ago, and what I love about working with them is they are such an amazing group of women that are all about women empowerment, mm-hmm, and women supporting women. And that is definitely one of my callings in life. Like, before the pandemic, I am forever, traveling the world, basically speaking to other women and just sharing my story and my journey of how I do it and how I make it work. And Seagrams Escapes and I connected on that level. I was like, okay, this makes sense. This makes sense. I'm excited. And, they've been around a long time. A really, really solid company. I've been around a long time. They know how to make a good cocktail. I know how to drink a good cocktail, especially after doing Real Housewives of Atlanta for 11 years. So I thought it was a win-win situation. And as a businesswoman, one of the things that I wanted to make sure of was that I was really going to be it was going to be a real partnership. Like, I went to the lab and I helped create the drink. It was like, okay, more carbonation, too sweet, not sweet enough, more peach, less peach. I literally had on a lab coat and helped create the peach Bellini. And then I went to the factory and I met all the workers that worked there, and bottle and box, and every aspect of it. It was really important for me to really be involved. I didn't want to just put my name and my photo on a product. I really wanted to get in and do the work. And then we started setting up women's empowerment tours where we go to different cities and we talk to other women. And then we opened that up where we would select 5 women who had stories as well, because I can only tell my story but so many times, and we're like, girl, we're good on your story. If we come to Denver, we would have someone like you be on the panel, and we would talk and share, how we do it, because women work so hard. I feel like we make it a lot easier than what it really is. Like, we just do it. We just make it happen. And that we've been doing that for years, but we all still need encouragement. We all still need inspiration. Like, every day, I don't wake up every day doing the walk, honey. I don't. Okay. Some days I wake up and I'm like, I just can't do it today. And I want to pull the covers right back over my head and, have a down day. But honestly, I can even just jump on my IG and I see like so many women with their own businesses, and, even my castmates, like, my family members, people that are doing things. And I'm like, you know what? Let me get my butt out this bed and remember who I am and keep this thing going. But again, it's that continuous inspiration, just, hearing that conversation over and over. Like, you can never get tired of hearing about Oprah and how she became Oprah. And we all,
True.
anyone that has any kind of fire in them, I think there's a little baby Oprah in all of us that just, wants to come out and just needs the right opportunity and is willing to do the work. So absolutely.
I love that you said there's a little baby Oprah in all of us, because when I was auditioning 5 years ago because I host a daytime talk show,
Yes.
and I listened to her speech at the Essence Fest. No less.
Oh my God. I think I was there. That year. Yes.
Yeah. When she said surrender all, which I like is just a whole word to live by. Like, you got to remember that, that's
Yes.
so true. That's so true. So of course, today's Mother's Day. And I just want to know what your favorite part about being a mother is. And also, you have one daughter.
Yes.
Did you ever think that did you ever think about having more kids at one point? Or were you just did you always envision?
One and done. One and done. I knew exactly what I was capable of and prepared to handle as a mom. I mean, already, even just with Noelle, because I've had, I started my career at 18 years old. I've always been working. I've never not worked. And my work is always, with my modeling career and even transitioning to my reality star career to now my acting career. It's always been like, there was always a lot of travel involved. So I always felt really bad that I was always gone, as it is with one child. Honey, if I had like 2 or 3, I just would have been like, I just can't leave all my kids at home. This is too much. But I will say that was tough for me. And now Noelle is 22. One of my favorite things about not being on the show anymore is I do have a little more balance, and I do have a little more time to actually spend with my family now. And I'm kind of honestly, with Noelle, trying to make up for lost time, even though it's kind of hard to do because you can't get back some of those years. But at the same time, I think she understands, and that's important to me. But I feel like I've always made Noelle a priority, but I also made my career priority because I wanted to make sure I could take care of Noelle. So everything I felt like I was doing it for her, but it still was like, at the end of the day, your kids look at it like, I just want you around. Like, I made sure my mom was around. I made sure we had an amazing full-time nanny with her. Her dad, was very, still is and was always right there. And his mom was right there. So we had the village.
Yeah.
But at some point, they just want their mama, honey. She's like, love my grannies, love my dad, love my nannies, but I want you, Mom. I want you. And as a mother, it's so hard not to even get emotional about that. But I think once I decided I was going to have a child, I think something took over me and was like, okay, you are now going to have to be a provider. You have to make sure that this child has everything that they need. You're taking on this responsibility. And I just went into mama bear mode, but also I went into beast work mode. And I was like, we're going to be good no matter what, we're going to be good. And it was like, although Leon was in the picture for many years, I was like, if it ever comes down to it, I always kind of had like a single mom mentality, just in case things didn't work out. It's like, can I take care of this child on my own if I have to, that I'm bringing into this world? So I've always been super, super emotional when it comes to being Noelle's mom, because I have done everything that I do it for her.
Yeah.
However, I was not always able to be present for her. And now when we talk, and she's like a young lady now, she's expressed to me that she gets it, but she just wants me.
Yeah.
Nobody replaces mom. So we're spending a lot more time together. And that's one of the reasons actually that I actually thought it's time for me to step away, because I don't want to lose a child. Like, this is my one and only. I didn't want to completely lose her. And I felt like it was time. It was time to make her a priority.
You know, it's like as I mentioned, I don't have children. I'm still very hopeful that it will happen one day, and
God's
I'm
will.
optimistic about it.
Mhm.
But I have a mom, you know,
Yes.
who worked very, very hard. And I think when I think of just how and I'm going to say, quote, know you, because I obviously don't know you, but how you've come across, it's like, I understand that mentality. And also, based on what you've shared with us, I understand the reasonings behind that mentality of, you have one child. That was a decision that you made, and it was, very much a thought out decision, but also all the reasons why. And
Oh,
I saw this video on, I think it was Instagram or something. It was talking about all the things that we saw our mothers do.
yeah.
They had multiple jobs, they had multiple children, they, did all these things, and they were super women. And I just look at someone like you who has been very successful, not only as a business person, but also as a mother, regardless of how you are qualifying it now, because we all know that Noelle loves you and you
Mhm.
love her, right?
Yes.
But it's really refreshing to have that type of conversation about how you always operated no matter what as a single mother,
Mhm.
and all of the reasons for why that would be. And I think sometimes, especially as women who have prioritized careers, that conversation gets lost on
Mhm.
us,
It does.
because it's seen as something different than it being like a maternal instinct, when I think it is a maternal instinct. It's just in a different way.
Mhm. Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. I mean, be very clear. Leon is an amazing dad. He's been present in her life the entire time. When we decided to part ways when she was about 2, in my mind, and even from again, when I decided to have Noel, God forbid something happened to him, like I just always felt like um, the dad was the bonus for her. Like I always felt like I had to make sure I held it down, because I knew, like, once we decided to walk away from our relationship, that she was going to be spending most of her time with me, and quite a bit of time with her, but I would have her full time.
Yeah.
So I felt like a lot of the responsibilities really fell on me in a lot of ways. But I take on a lot too. I'm a Pisces girl. Like I'm like, I got it. I got it. We don't need anything. We'll let you know when we need something. So that's just part of my personality, to just, handle it. Like I got it. We'll let you know when we need something. So we're good. But with that said, I think, just coming from very humble beginnings. I'm from a very small town in Alabama. I grew up poor. I've watched my mom struggled most of her life. I grew up very close to my grandmother, who worked. She had 155 jobs. She was the first example of a true entrepreneur that I knew. And I just felt like, I have to, once I decided that I was going to leave Alabama and follow my dream of becoming a model, I failure was just not an option. And if it was like, if I got lucky and I just blew up overnight, that's great. But I knew that I had to be prepared to do the work. I knew I had to be prepared to struggle. And that was easy for me, because I come from a family of strugglers and come from a family of hardworking people. Like I'm not afraid of work, and I'm not afraid to have 25 jobs. That's what I need to make it happen. But I think as a mom, and as a woman, to be honest with you, we we're amazing. We take on a lot, and no matter what, we're going to make sure that there's food on the table. And what I love about coming from my very humble beginnings is I can go up and down. We got to go to ramen noodles for 6 months to figure out this money. I know how to downgrade, and I know how to fly high. You know what I'm saying? We're flying. Are we flying private today? Or are we flying coach? Like I can go either way. That is completely my life. And I think that's very important to be able to have that quality, because, life is ups and downs. Like I would never want to be this person who couldn't scale back or who couldn't figure it out if, a job situation changed. Like, right now, I technically don't have a job, quote unquote, anymore since Housewives, but I have all these other businesses
Right.
and all these hustles. Mama's in hustle mode right now. I have all these opportunities that are continuously coming my way. But, there's nothing like that good security blanket of like, okay, I know this is coming in and the rest we're going to put on top of that. So, but, God is good. I have so much faith in God. And, I always say every morning when I wake up and every night before I go to sleep, I say, not my will, God's will be done.
Mhm.
And I just release it. Not my will, God's will be done. If it's for me, no man or woman can take it from me. And if
you
it's God's
repeat that
will,
again, because I think people get confused.
not my will, God's will be done.
Yes.
I'm just here, okay? And I'm going to do everything that I can do to help God help me. But if it's for me, it's going to be mine. I don't care who I'm up against. It's going to be mine if it's for me. And if it's not for me, then it's not. And that's okay because it's not for me. Everything, I only want what's for me. I don't want what's for you. I don't want what's for everybody else. I want what is for me. I just want my piece. Just give me my piece of the pie. That's what I'm working hard for.
We can honestly, that has been, if there was a consistent thread that since we first met you on television, I really believe that that might be it, because you have never tried, like we've seen so many people try to step into someone else's lane. We've seen so many people try to compete for the spotlight. We've seen those things, and you've been very consistent. And I think the consistency in that is very key. Like if it is for you, and I mean, this is something I kind of am a magnet to, because I have the same theory. It's like you see people kind of like crashing, trying to change lanes without their turn signal, like trying to get into someone else's lane. And you're like, you would have like sustained for far longer if you would have just been true to yourself, knowing that there's no way that we're in competition, because we all have our piece of the puzzle, our piece of the pie. So
absolutely. Your only competition is yourself. Like, honestly, like I love that quote. I am my only competition. And it's not my will, it's God's will. Like anything that is for me is just going to be for me. And I'm also big on humility. I am a very humble person. And I think that is very, very important. You know what I'm saying? Like I am grateful to do the smallest job, and I'm grateful to do the biggest job.
yeah.
And I show up with the same attitude and I'm present the same way, no matter what it is, because I'm humble. I know that God has given me so much, but I also know that He can take it away. So I always have to have a humble spirit. And I think, again, in all of my careers and, jobs that I've had, I think, again, one of the things that has made me very successful is two things: work ethic. I do the work. I show up, I do the work. And I'm also a humble person. I am grateful for the opportunity. You can't do the work if you don't get the opportunity. You can't, you got to get in the room. If you're not in the room, you can't meet the people and network with the people that you're trying to meet. So it's always coming from a place of humility. Like, I'm so grateful for all of it. All of it. I'm just grateful for all of it.
What is something, because I know our time is coming to an end, and I am just really excited to see you in Denver for the Seagrams Escape Empowerment Tour,
Yes.
to be announced.
Yes.
I'm manifesting it now. I'm like,
Yes,
I got
manifestation, very important. And if I have anything to say about it, you will be on that panel, because I'm a fan of yours as well, and I love and appreciate you, woman to woman, what you're doing, because you are inspiring and impacting a lot of lives as well on your platform. So yes, that's happening. Okay, so
well, thank you. Thanks. You see how manifestation works, people. Okay.
God,
you
yes.
shall receive.
Closed mouth goes unfed. Okay.
Hello. That's one of my favorites too. But
Okay.
before we let you go, I just want to know, what is something in your past that you saw in the moment as a setback, but really it was your setup for the comeback?
Ooh, wow. Wow. Ooh. I don't really look at my life as I don't look at anything in my life as a setback. I look at everything as lessons. You know what I'm saying? Like it is necessary for setbacks. It is necessary for failures so that you can appreciate the wins and you can appreciate the victories. There is absolutely nothing that I can think of that I didn't need to be going through, that didn't need to be a part of my journey, no matter how light or how dark that situation was. I needed to go through it. God needed me to go through it. So, no regrets, no setbacks for me. Every single thing, every single situation, every single person that has come in my life and some out of my life, that was God. I needed, they needed to be a part of the journey and they needed to be a part of the lesson so that I can move forward and know not only what I want, what I don't want. Okay, come on, let me say that again for the people in the back. Now I know not only what I want, I am very clear, crystal clear about what I don't want and who I don't want. Everybody doesn't get to be a part of this anymore.
Right.
It is, as you get older, you become very protective of your peace. Say that again for the people in the back. As you get older, you become very protective over your peace.
Peace be still.
Can't have my peace. Can't no person, can't no man, can't no child, can't no friend, can't no job. Ain't nobody coming over here taking my peace. I have earned this, I deserve it, and I will do anything to protect it.
I really needed to speak with you today, Cynthia Bailey.
I really need to speak to you again, Erica. Okay. I really did.
Welcome. Anytime on Comeback. What is something, I know you have a ton of things to promote. You got a lot going on, but share with the people. The floor is yours.
Okay. All right. Well, you guys know I have my running partnership with Seagrams Escapes. We have Mother's Day coming up. So please go out and grab yourself some of our delicious flavors. We have tons of flavors and, cocktail it up, celebrate yourself, celebrate life. We have some delicious recipes on SeagramsEscapes.com and also on Instagram, Seagrams. You'll see all the wonderful cocktails that we make. And coming up, if you guys didn't see my Lifetime movie, Cruel Instruction, please go back and get that. It's on demand. That was one of my big acting debuts. Shout out to Lifetime for giving me an opportunity to really jump out into the acting world. I also, my bag line, CB by War, we're actually doing a partnership with the Beverly Center. So I'll have a pop-up for about 3 months with CB by War. That's on my Instagram as well. And then I'm also starting another bag collaboration with a luxury bag line with some incredible people. It's called Neela Bags. So you guys will see me posting about that as well. I'm all about my bag right now. I'm in all my bag. I got some kind of urban streetwear bags and I got more luxury bags. It's all about the bag right now in this next chapter.
In more ways than one. Securing the bag, labeling the bag, producing the bag. It's all in the bag.
It's all about my bag. And also, if you guys are in Atlanta, please, please, please stop by and treat yourself to a beautiful glass of wine at the Bailey Wine Cellar.
Well, Miss Cynthia Bailey, I thank you so much for your light. I thank you so much for your humor. And I thank you for your time. Comeback community, follow. Okay, I'm not even kidding. You're already following Cynthia Bailey.
You better be following me if you're watching this.
Exactly. You better be following her. And for the full podcast and more on Cynthia Bailey, please go to my online home, comeback.tv. Cynthia, thank you so much. I really appreciate you, girl.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. Continue to do what you're doing. Keep being an inspiration, motivation for all of your followers. And I can't wait to talk to you again.
I can't wait
All
either.
right.
Take care.
All right.
Tell Mr. Mike Hill I said bye.
I will. I will. I will. Bye, you guys. Bye, everyone. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Bye-bye.